What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. um, I just want to make this quick video because I've been struggling on as you can see, I was changing my brakes, and on the 2008 there's like a little horseshoe spring that is real hard to put on, but it's really not. It's just a little simple thing you need to do, um, and I'll show you guys here in a sec. So you can see I got new headlights. I got them all chrome. It looks yellow right here because of the bulbs. I'm thinking about changing to LED lights, all of them. I also replaced all this was black, so I got the chrome cap and I just snapped it on in there. And I also got some long tube headers, so if you want see a video on those, just hit that subscribe button and I'll be installing them later on and showing you the before and after. I'll also be doing little pulls and things like that. So yeah, right here, this little dent, it was way bigger, but there was a piece of branch right there, and then it was so dry the tree bark just fell and then hit the truck and it caused that dent. Alright guys, so I'm gonna start off by taking the tire and I'll start removing the drum and everything. Hopefully it's a good angle for y'all to see, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so for safety, after you take off the wheel, it's always good to put it under the frame just in case. Alright guys, as you can see, I got the wheel off, the tire, and now what's next, we have to take off the drum. So if you try to wiggle it off and it just won't budge, you can either hit it with a hammer on both sides, left and right. So because what's holding it, it's like rust and dirt that gets in between there from the brakes. So if you want to hit it with a hammer, like you're gonna have to use some real good force so the rust could break. Or as you can see, there's two little holes, and what you could do is you could get bolts and just screw them in there. Alright guys, so like I was saying, you grab two bolts, just make sure they fit right here. They don't have to be that long. If you don't have the tools, like I said, hit it with a hammer real hard right here. Just make sure that you don't hit this, because if you do, you might dent it, and that will prevent you from putting the lug nuts back on and then the wheel. So alright, so what I'm gonna do, let me set up the camera real quick. Alright guys, as you can see, I'm gonna put on the bolts. Just screw them in there. You might hear a snap when I tighten these bolts. You might not, but we'll just see. Alright, I didn't hear a snap, but I saw, you can see it coming off just a little bit. From your angle, I don't think you can see it, but I did. Now with the bolts in, if you try to pull it out, it's gonna feel like it's not coming out. So you're gonna have to remove the bolts and then pull out the drum. Oh, you heard that? That's the snap that I was talking about. So now that means the drum is off and loose. So I'm gonna take off the bolts.
And if you're changing the brakes yourself, guys, you're actually saving yourself a lot of money, so be happy for that.
Alright, so now, moment of truth, I'm gonna try to pull out the drum. You just wiggle it out a little bit. There it is. Alright guys, so that's what the old drum looks like. These never been changed ever, and they're looking real bad. Well, it's not as bad as I thought, but on some trucks that the drum's never been changed, if you feel right here, you'll feel like little grooves. It'll feel bumpy. So if you do feel that, you might want to change your drums. I also got the brake shoes and the drums from online, from 1A Auto. I've been buying my parts for the truck from 1A Auto because they have everything that I needed. Alright guys, so here's what it looks like. As you can see, it's real dirty. Dust brake everywhere. And for 2008 Chevy Silverado, this is quite simple because there's only one spring, the adjuster, brake shoe, and this is what I was talking about, the horseshoe spring brake. I mean, what? I'm dead. This is what I'm talking about, you guys, the horseshoe spring. And as you can see right here, see how it hooks on into that little latch. It's real hard to put it on, but here in just a sec I'll show you how to do it. So I'm gonna start off by removing all of the components, and when you remove all the components, you just want to lay them off to a side the way you see them on there. So it's best to use tools such as pliers just to get rid of the springs. So it's just latched onto here and to the shoe. So, and wear gloves, guys, if you work on the brakes. It does get real messy. So I'm doing this with one hand. I'm gonna put the camera down real quick. Alright guys, so this right here is the emergency brake. To get it out, what I like to do is, so the brake goes on like that, right? So what I do, I bring it down, I turn it around, and that little point right here, it should go down. And once you push it down, it's gonna go, it's gonna undo from right here. So let me show you. And use flat blade screwdrivers for this. It'll be a lot helpful. As you can see, there's the old that's the old brake. Let me just pull out the new brakes. Drum. Alright, so hang on just a sec. Alright guys, always when you're changing new parts, compare the parts together, make sure they're all good. This is the new one and that's the old one. As you can see, they almost look identical, just that one is way dirtier than this one. They are the same, just different brand. Before I install them, the brakes, I want to clean this up just a little bit. I'm also going to be replacing the brake cylinder. I have that right there. And what you want to do, as you can see, there's like these little bumps. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What you want to do with a wired brush, but I don't have a wired brush, so I'm using a toothbrush. So just scrub on there. Try to get a little cleaner. You know, take your time, please, because as you can see right here, all that gunk is over the metal. You can see the metal right there, so try to get all of that off.
Alright guys, so before I do anything else, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, the wheel cylinder. Oof, that thing stinks. Alright, so that's the old one, and this is the new one. You can see this looks way better than that one. And to remove the wheel cylinder is real easy.
First, you have to loosen up this line right here, which is, you have to unscrew that just a little bit. And there's two, let me see, I don't know if y'all can see, but there's 2 little bolts right here. Let's see, one right there, and the other one right there. So you're gonna have to unscrew those, and the 2 little bolts are just holding this thing in place, and this is feeding it brake fluid. So I'm gonna go ahead and go do that. Instead of turning left, it's to the right. So, but before I take those little 2 bolts off all the way, I'm going to screw the line first. And I just lost my pliers, so let me look for those. Oh, here they are. If you guys have gloves, make sure you wear them because as you can see, I'm getting oil everywhere. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove those 2 bolts. As you can see, the cylinder starts to start moving. That is because it is getting loose, and that is what we want. And that is what they look like. Alright, switching the parts, match the parts together. As you can see, these are identical, except one is dirtier than the other. So the new one's gonna come with the new cap. Make sure you uncap this, but keep the black one. This orange one, you could just take it out because you're gonna be screwing the line back in here. And these bolts, you don't have to really torque them down to any torque. Just make them snug and tight. Alright guys, so that is the new wheel cylinder installed. There's gonna be lots of oil back here, don't freak out. The bolts, put them back in. And see how there's a little hole right here? The little black thing that you saved? You wanna go ahead and put it back in there. Alright, so as you can see, it doesn't look completely screwed on, but don't worry, it is. As long as, guys, now what you wanna do is put on gloves or just wipe your hands down, because all them oils will affect the actual brake. You don't want to get no oils on the brake. So, and this horseshoe, it is such a hassle to put back on, But if you could do what I did and just left it there, if you want to replace it, go ahead. I have my new one right there, but I'm not gonna replace it because this looks perfectly fine. And if it does come back on, if you do take it off, you're gonna find out that it's real hard to put back on. And what you need to do, you see how it goes into the little hook right here? You have to get it inside the little hook before. You have to put the horseshoe inside the little hook before you put the actual brake on, okay? So right now, if I didn't have this horseshoe on, I would left my brakes there and put the horseshoe first in the little hook. Because if you put the brakes on first and then the horseshoe, you're not gonna be able to. It's gonna be such a hassle. So first put the horseshoe on and then put the brakes on. So back behind here, you have the little hook, right? And with this, you're gonna have to put the shoe in the hook before you put the shoes, and then you're gonna have to pull this apart, and it's real hard. So you're gonna need some good strength to pull this apart. Alright, so now I'm gonna put the e-brake back on. And this is where you're gonna need another pair of hands. If you are doing it by yourself, it is almost impossible to do. Alright guys, so you might find hard to put this back on, and this is just the e-brake. So if you go to the driver's side, right in between, well, you'll see right here. So the top one wire goes to the driver's side rear brakes, and the bottom wire goes to the passenger side rear brakes. So what I did is I disconnected this, and you're just really pulling it out, pulling that out of the hole and pushing this in just a little bit. So once you come over here, you're gonna see that the wire is sticking out more, and you can pull it out just a little bit more. That'll make it that much easier to put it in between here, and it will come out this way. So alright guys, just like I said before, before you put the brake shoes on, you want to get the horseshoe first, because it'll be way harder once you put the brake shoes on. Because usually people put the brake shoes on and then C-clamp it, or they get something so the brake shoes could just sit up there and then put the horseshoe. But it's easier if you just snap on the horseshoe into that little hook like that. I actually snapped it on there while I wasn't recording, and now it's real hard to take off, so I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it there. As you can see, it's inside the little hook. I really just like, let me see if I can show you with the old one, but what you have to do is just snap the other one in there like that. As you can see, this one almost goes in there, but the other one's already on there. So I was trying to take this off so I could show you, but it's real hard. So all you have to do is snap it on there before you put the brake shoes on. That's the easiest way to put the horseshoe on. And yeah, I do agree, it's bad quality. It's such a bad it's a bad style of a spring. It's such a hassle to put on. Once you install the horseshoe, what you want to do Let's get your brake. Now with one hand, well, I recommend using, when dealing with the horseshoe, you might want to use pliers, because if that horseshoe pops out, it might hurt your it might snap on your finger. So I'm gonna go ahead with the pliers, pull back on the horseshoe so I can slide my brake back in. Pull back with one. Slide my shoe in there. As you can see, it's not on correctly. This part of the brake shoe should be right there, and that should be in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try to adjust it. So again, pull back. All right, check that out. Inside, all them scratches, yes, I know, but that doesn't matter. So inside the hole, it's still behind the little hoop, perfectly in the middle. Now I have to do the other side. Don't be surprised if this snaps off again. You'll just have to redo it. That's it, look. Perfect. Oh my God. I've been working with this for over 30 minutes. Over 45, actually. So, don't get too impatient with me. Alright? It's on good. It's on good. It's in the hook, in the holes. That's to look after. And what you want to do is just go ahead and clean off the adjuster with a brush. Just go ahead and wipe down all the dust. And if this comes off easily, don't worry, it's supposed to. Usually people put lube in there, but I don't have none, so I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it how it is. Just wipe it out, wipe it down. So what you want to do now is, the adjuster is a little bit long, so just twist it the way that makes it go inwards. And you can see this have like these weird shape on it, and this side right here is gonna go in there, and this side is just gonna go into that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and screw it all the way because it's not fitting. Alright, so now the adjuster is in, but it's still so loose. So what you want to do is get a flat head and go ahead and just turn that until it tightens up. Alright, it's not going to stay in place because you're going to need to put the new spring. Alright guys, so what I did was just put the adjuster back on there, and now I put this little hook thing back on, which is, you just go like this, you put it on that little, whatever that is, and you gotta make sure it touches the teeth from the adjuster. It's not gonna hold in place, so it's gonna hold in place once you put the new spring. So the new spring goes on, hooks onto the brake shoe, and the circle hook is gonna hold on to this right here. I'm gonna try to do it with one hand, see if I can. Spring with pliers. Now I just gotta pull it. Alright, as you can see, now I just wanna make this touch the teeth. Always when you're putting a new rotor from the front or a brake drum from the back, you wanna go ahead and spray it with some brake cleaner. So we just make sure you have something to wipe it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, it looks like I ran out. Oh my god. If you just ran out, go ahead and just wipe it down with one of those napkins. See all that dirt coming out? Those are the oils. Those oils are just to help the rotor or the brake drum not to rust during shipment. Hey guys. You gotta make sure your rotor doesn't twist too much. If it does twist a lot, go ahead and remove it. And then with your dang, I cannot talk. Flat blade screwdriver, go ahead and adjust the adjuster, which just pushes out on the brake shoes. Now let's try that again. All right, looks like I adjusted it a little too far, so the brake shoes are too out that I can't slip the brake drum in. So I'm gonna go ahead and readjust the adjuster. I'm gonna turn it the other way so the horseshoes can close. That's perfect. Alright, when you put the brake drums, you might have a little space right here. Don't worry, that's normal. Now all I have to do is put the tire back on, and then I'm done. See, that drum looks way better than this one. Alright guys, so that's how you do that. I already did this side earlier. Look at that brake drum, so old. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something from it. There's a lot of simple steps that a lot of people don't say, that they just think that the person changing the brakes knows already, but sometimes you don't know. So hopefully I said something that helped you. And if you did, go ahead and like this video, comment, subscribe. Like I said, I will be doing another update on the truck. I got some headers, some long tube headers I'm going to be installing later, and I'm gonna do it before and after, little pulls here and there, and the sound. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see y'all next time.